Ever look at the Russian flag and get a weird sense of déjà vu, like you've seen it somewhere before? Well, you're not going crazy, because there's this incredible story hiding in plain sight, right there in those red, white, and blue stripes. It's a story about massive ambition, a little bit of, industrial espionage, and yeah, a whole lot of imitation. So let's dig in and solve this thing.
Okay, so it all kicks off with just looking. I mean, really looking. Because once you put these two flags next to each other, you just can't unsee it. The resemblance is, well, it's striking.
All right, check this out. You've got the Dutch flag over here, red, white, and blue stripes top to bottom. And then the Russian flag, white, blue, and red. It's literally the same three colors, the exact same palette, just shuffled around a bit. You can't deny how similar they are. And that, of course, brings up the big question, right?
I mean, what are the odds? Was this just some crazy coincidence? Or did Russia straight up copy the Netherlands flag? To figure that out, we've got to jump in the time machine and go meet the guy who's right at the heart of this whole thing. And that man is none other than Peter the Great. We're talking about the Tsar of Russia here. And let me tell you, this guy was an absolute force of nature. See, Peter wasn't your usual run-of-the-mill king sitting on a throne. No way. This guy was a visionary, and he was kind of obsessed with one single massive idea. He was going to modernize Russia, and he was going to do it by any means necessary, even if he had to drag the country kicking and screaming into the modern age.
And right at the center of that whole vision, a navy. See, Russia was this huge land empire, right? But Peter knew, he just knew, that to really hang with the big players in Europe, he needed ships, a powerful fleet. Just one tiny problem. Russia didn't have a navy. And frankly, they didn't really know how to build one. So Peter did something, well, something pretty wild.
He decided, you know what? I'm going to go straight to the source. So he basically packed his bags and went on this trip that would completely change the future of Russia. And, as we're about to find out, the look of its flag. And listen, this was no fancy state visit with big dinners and parades. Not at all. In 1697, the Tsar of Russia himself went undercover. He worked as a regular old carpenter in the Dutch shipyards. He wanted to learn it all, from the ground up, from how to lay the keel of a ship to how to rig the sails. And while he was there, day in and day out, he's watching the Dutch merchant fleet, the most powerful fleet on the planet, sailing in and out of the harbor. So Peter wasn't just learning how to build boats. He was seeing with his own two eyes how a pretty small country like the Netherlands could be a global superpower, how they could project all this power and get incredibly wealthy, all because they dominated the seas. And he thought, I want that. I want that for Russia. Okay, and right here, this is where all the pieces of our puzzle really start snapping together. He's got the know-how now, he's definitely got the ambition, but he's missing one thing. He needs a symbol. Back then, this three-striped design, the tricolor, it was like the peak of modern design. It was a cutting-edge symbol. It stood for a modern, organized nation, not just, the personal flag of some king. It was simple, it was bold, you could recognize it from a mile away. It was powerful. And the Dutch flag? Oh, it was everywhere. You gotta think of it like the most successful brand logo in the world at the time. When you saw that red, white, and blue on the horizon, you knew exactly what you were looking at. Success, power, money. So Peter goes back to Russia, totally fired up, ready to build his navy from the ground up. And this brand new, totally modern fleet, well, it needed a brand new modern flag, something that would represent the new Russia he was trying to create. So what's a guy to do? Well, he did what any smart leader does. He saw what was working, he figured out why it was working, and then he adapted it. He basically took the Dutch blueprint for a super successful flag and just, made it his own. And the timeline here just makes it all crystal clear. I mean, look, the Dutch flag had been around since the mid-1600s. It was totally established. Then in 1699, that's just 1 year after Peter gets back from his trip, boom, he introduces a white, blue, and red tricolor for Russia's merchant ships. The connection is, you can't deny it, it's direct. He just reordered the colors to give it a Russian twist. But wait. The story doesn't stop there, because what started out as just a flag for ships, well, it was going to become the symbol for an entire nation. Yeah, over the next couple of centuries, the flag that Peter cooked up for his navy just kept growing in importance. Eventually, it became the official flag of the whole Russian Empire. And then, after the Soviet Union fell, it was brought back in 1991. So think about that.
A symbol of naval ambition that was literally born in a Dutch shipyard became the lasting symbol of Russia itself. Pretty wild, right?
So you see, the Russian flag isn't just a copy. It's so much more than that. It's a symbol of modernization, of huge ambition, and of smart adaptation. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many other hidden stories are out there, just hiding in the symbols we see all around us every single day?